Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to implement a linked list in C++, and also this video is a part of my DSA in C++ series in which I'm going to take every data structure and algorithm and implement it in C++ and explain its working. So be on the lookout for more videos and do subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. Okay, so looking over on the theory part of linked list, it's quite simple that we have a list of nodes and each node has two parts. The node has a data which is its value, and then next part is a pointer which points to the next node in line. Okay, so every node has two parts. One part we have the value or the data, and the next part is we have a pointer which points to the next node. Okay, so basically it is just a list of nodes that are linked to each other. That's why a linked list. Okay, now let's implement this. So I'm doing this using structure, using struct instead of using classes and objects. So I'm doing it in a structured manner instead of an object-oriented fashion, which I feel that this way works best. Okay. So right now I have a struct node, and like I said, node will have two parts. One, it will have the data, which is also the value, and then we have the pointer, which points to the next value. Okay. So the data I'm calling data itself, and the pointer I'm calling next. Why am I calling it next? Because it points to the next node in the line or the next node in the list. Okay. So I've already declared head. Head is initially null. Now what is head? Head is the head node. So like the name suggests, head node meaning the first node in the linked list. So this right here will be my head node, right? Because as far as you can see, this is the first node in line. So that's the head node. So initially head will be null because right now we don't have anything in the linked list. So if head is null, meaning that we don't have anything in the linked list is empty. So it's right now it's empty and we need to insert something in it. So inserting, let's say we insert something like 6. So we're inserting and head. So in head, in the linked list, I'm inserting suppose the value 6. Now what I'm passing is I'm passing head and I'm passing the data which is to be inserted. Okay, and I'm passing the address. You can see I'm passing and, so I'm passing it by reference. As you may know that we have call by function, call by value, call by reference. So I'm passing the address. That's why you see 2 asterisk here. Okay, so that means that I'm sending the address of head. So here we're going to insert it. So we have head and we have the data which we want to insert into our linked list. So first we're going to check one thing, whether the list is empty or not. So if my list is empty, meaning that head itself is null, so there is nothing in the list. So head is null, there's nothing in the list. So the inserted node itself becomes head, right? So suppose if I want to insert 6, but there is nothing in the list. So 6 is now my head node. Okay, and now it's pointing to nothing because there's nothing next to it, right? So it will be something like star head is equal to new node. Now this new keyword this is to actually make the node. Okay, so right now there's nothing inside it, but as soon as I say new node, so it's like a new type of node. You can think of it like that. So the type of node is this. We have a data and we have a pointer, and here I'm making head as a new node. And what will the value of it be? So the value of head will be data. So head's data is data itself, and which is the data which we're passing through here. And using this, we're accessing the attributes, we're accessing the data and the pointer inside the node. So we're saying heads data is the data which we're passing. Okay, and heads next is null because there is nothing next to it. So heads next is null. So this is the case that the linked list was empty. Now what if linked list is not empty? Then what do we need to do? So suppose that the linked list is not empty. Suppose this is the linked list. So whatever I want to insert at the back, right? That's how it works. So suppose if I get a new node, then I want to insert that new node at the end. So what I need to do is I need to go to the end and then insert my new node. So first let's make that new node which we're going to insert. So that will be something like this. We'll call it temp for now. So what we're doing right now is we're making a new node temp, and we're going towards the end of the linked list, and then we're saying now I'm inserting temp at the very end. So first let's create temp. So struct node star temp, and I'll say temp, or let's say new node because we need to create it, new node, and temp's value will be data which we have to insert. So temp's data will be data itself, which we're passing down from here, as you can see. So temps data is data, and again there's nothing next to temp. So temps next will be what? Null. Okay. Now, like I said, we need to go to the end of the linked list and then insert temp at the end. So how are we going to get to the end of it? So we're going to use a traversing variable. For example, if we want to traverse through an array, we use integer I for int I is equal to 0, right? We start from 0 to n. Likewise, we're going to use a traversing variable here, and I'm going to call it cur. So it will be like something struct node star cur, and it will initially be null, like we have int I, and I starts from 0, and then I'll point it to head, because like I said, it needs to start from the initial position. So cur is something like this. So cur is a traversing variable which will start from here, and then it will move from here, from here, from here, and it will go towards the end. So we're using cur to traverse to the end, and then we're going to insert temp. Okay, so we're going to use a loop to traverse. Obviously we need a loop. So curs, what we're going to do is we're going to do curs next not equal to null. So we're going to see whether it's at the last position or not. Right now it's at the head position, and then while it's not at the last position, we keep on shifting it to the right. How we're going to do that? We're going to say cur is equal to curs next. Now what this does is it shifts it to the right, meaning it shifts it to the next position. So while I say cur is equal to curs next, so right now cur is this, curs next is this, so it will shift from here to here, and it will keep on shifting inside the while loop till it comes here, because right now there is nothing next to it. Okay, so after this, now I'm at the end position. Now what do I need to do? Now I need to insert temp, meaning that I need to put temp next to it. So quite simply, I'll just say curs next now is temp. Now what this does is it puts temp next to cur. Okay, now first let's just run this function and see whether it's working or not. So I've already done insert and head and 6, so let's just run it and see. Okay, we need a semicolon here. Yeah. Okay, so and now let's print it. So 6 should be printed. If I print heads data, so 6 should be printed, right? So let's just see. The value we should get is 6. So if I run it, you can see that 6 is being printed, meaning that it's working. Now let's insert a few more values and then we'll see the delete function. So inserting a few more values, it'll be something like this. So I'll insert 5, I'll insert 4, I'll insert 3. Now when I say head is equal to head dot next and then again print, so it should print 5 because the next value to it is 5. So 6 will be inserted, then 5 will be inserted, then 4, and then 3, and then so on. So again, if I say cout heads data, so the next value should be printed, which is what? 5. So let's see that also and see whether it's working or not. Yeah, so 5 is being printed, meaning that the insert function is working correctly. Now let's see the delete function and see how we can delete something from our linked list. So the arguments will be pretty same. We need to pass head and then the value we need to delete instead of the value which we wanted to insert. Now what we're going to do. So first we're going to check if head is empty, because if head is empty then there's nothing to delete, right? So in case we'll just return. So if head is null then it's already empty, we don't need to delete anything. So I'll just simply return. What if it's not empty? There are two cases. Either it will be the first element. So suppose head itself is the element which I want to delete. Suppose I want to delete 6. So head itself is the element which I want to delete. So for that I'll check and I'll add a while loop. Why? Because next to it we can again have the value which we want to delete. Suppose it's 66666. So and initially we're gonna get a loop and see how far we have the value which we want to delete. So we'll say while head is equal to head's data is the data which we want to delete. Okay, and while we have this, we'll just move to the right because we don't want that data, so we'll just move to the right and remove the initial values. So quite simply we'll just say star head is equal to star head next. So as long as we're getting the data which we want to delete, we'll just move the head to the right. So for example, if I want to delete 6, so I'll just move head here, and so my linked list will be from here, and this value is automatically deleted now. Okay, quite simple. So if heads, initially we found the data which we want to delete, we're going to delete it like this. Now suppose afterwards we find the data which we want to delete. So how are we going to do that? So what we're going to do is, first again we need a traversing variable to traverse and see if we find the data. So I'll just do the same thing, use cur, so star node cur, and call it null and let it point to head initially. Okay. And then again I'll need a while loop to traverse through the linked list. So again the same thing, while curs next not equal to null, not equal to null. Now what do I need to see? I need to see if the value which I want to delete is next to cur. So how will I see that? Using if. So if curs next data, so if it's next to cur, okay, so if it's next data is the data I want to delete. Now so what will I do? So it's something like this. Suppose I want to delete 5. So I want to delete 5 and right now I'm at here at cur and I see that next to me I have the data which I want to delete. So what I'll do is I'll break this link and I'll just link it like this. Now how I'll do that? Let's see in code. So I've seen that next to me is the data which I want to delete. So I'll say that I don't want to be connected to the data next to me. Instead I want to be connected to the data next to that. So it will be something like this, next, okay, and let's do parentheses so it's easier to understand. So here's what we're doing. Next to it, we found the data which we wanted to delete. So we said that let's break this connection and instead let's have this connection. So this value will automatically be deleted. It will be out of the linked list, okay, quite simple. So I'm saying curs next is now curs next dot next, and then again move the traversing variable to the right or to next. So after this the value will be deleted. So let's just try to see whether it's working or not. First let's run it to see whether we have made any mistakes or not. Okay, seems to be working. So now let's say delete. So delete and head comma 6. Let's first try to delete the first head itself and see whether 5 and 4 are printed or not. So if I delete 6, 5 and 4 should be printed. Okay, the function name is delete node, my bad. Delete node. Okay, so 5 and 4 are being printed, meaning that 6 was successfully deleted. Now instead let's try to delete 5. So if I delete 5, then 6 and 4 will be printed. Why? Because from 6 to 4 the direct connection will be there. The connection from 6 to 5 will be broken. So 6 and 4 will be printed. Let's see. Yeah, and as you can see 6 and 4 are being printed, meaning that it is working. So that's it guys for the video. We saw two functions, insert and delete, and there are a few more functions like search which are very easy to implement. I'll give the code in the description, you can check it out, and if you have any doubts put them in the comment. Thank you for watching and do subscribe to the channel and give a like and comment. Thank you.